How you going, people? Well, we got to go over some comments here because when I do a video and I get really kind of 50-50 comments on people that don't understand and that people that kind of question, not that it's bad to question me, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but obviously I didn't make the point clear or you're too stupid to figure it out. And maybe it's just a misunderstanding, or maybe we can just disagree. That's okay too. Look, I never said in this video that the law was right and that cops should be able to shoot people. I'm telling you, the law is what it is. Cops do what they do. They're not charged. And then people want to come here and get mad at me because I'm telling you what the law is. So, I mean, you can get mad at me, but if you call me names and act like a jerk in the comments, I'm just going to block you. I blocked Deb Prepper, whoever he is. If he's watching, he's blocked. He said, if the guy would have been white, my opinion would be different. That's total BS. Don't call me a racist. I call it like it is. I don't care about color. I'd just as soon bad white people be in jail as I would any other color be in jail. So it ain't about color to me. The people that make it about color are normally people of color. But I digress. Let's get back to these videos. So I'm going to go down here. Are we, hopefully we're showing the videos in order, or the comments. So let's just talk. It may be long, but we're going to talk about the law and some different things that I think maybe I was confused on. So, Tarzan here posted, Tennessee versus Gardner. Okay, this is a landmark case, and I want to say, I mean, I used to know it when I was teaching use of force and in court all the time. I want to say it was a teen running away, and a cop shot him in the back, and it caused this case. And they said you can't shoot somebody in the back unless they're a violent fleeing felon. I think the cop shot the kid for either a burglary or trespassing. It was not a violent felony. So Tennessee Gardner came out and goes, no. They have to be violent fleeing before you can shoot. And I always go back to the old show. What was it? It's a Wonderful Life. Everybody's seen it at Christmas. Cop comes out. Drunk dude, star of the movie, punches the cop and runs off. The cop pulls out his gun on a busy streets and starts shooting. That was totally okay back then. You didn't hit a cop and you didn't run from the cops. That's when people kind of follow the law a little bit more. But that was when the community held cops to a higher standard and they weren't jackboots. We're going back to cops shooting everybody, but now they're jackboots and they're not accountable to the community. But I digress. So Tennessee versus Gardner. Anybody can read that. You may have read it while I'm doing it. Kudos to the officer. Okay, this guy's saying kudos. Thanks, he can no longer reproduce. Okay, so this guy's obviously okay with it. Either way, he took a dirt nap. Okay. When a kid was found guilty of a suspected crime. Okay, this is the biggest argument in the comments. The guy was just a suspect, and Rick, you're justifying a shooting of a suspect. Let me explain what a suspect is, people. Okay? If I walk in to a shooting and it's an active shooter and there is a guy shooting people, that guy is still a suspect. No, Rick, he's actually doing it. Well, no shit, he's actually doing it. But the media is going to report him as a suspect. He's going to be listed as a suspect. If I take him down and arrest him, he's going to be arrested as a suspect. For some reason, people think just because someone is called a suspect, they have to be innocent until proven guilty. Everybody is a suspect, even if they're committing their crime. So the people who are caught up on that, I don't think get it. So when somebody is suspected of a crime, and I'll go back to when I was a cop, if I suspected somebody, I could do what's called a PC to arrest. And I would just put it out, a bolo, be on the lookout. And if I investigated a crime, let's just say a woman got beat up by her husband and he left. And this guy was on parole for robbery, murder, whatever. He was a bad dude. Shouldn't have been out of prison anyway. He beat the shit out of his wife, and he left when we got there. I would put out a bolo with PC to arrest. And that means, because cops can believe what other cops tell them, Rick, that's not fair. Cops lie. I don't care if it's fair. People, I'm telling you what the law is. The law is, if a cop pulls his gun, I don't need to see the threat. I'm justified in pulling my gun. I can believe what an officer sees or tells me has reasonable and truthful. And now I can't just start shooting. If a cop comes up to me and goes, shoot that guy, he just robbed somebody. I can't use deadly force because he told me that. Deadly force falls in a different category. You must justify. That's why sympathetic fire, when you see a bunch of cops shooting at somebody at one time, that's called sympathetic fire. That means some cops are just shooting because all the other cops are shooting. That is not justified. It's wrong. Now, ask me when the last time a cop was convicted of that. Never. Okay, so that's why it continues, but traditionally, good cops are trained. You never shoot or fire your gun because that's deadly force unless you can justify it. You can't say, 10 other officers told me that guy was the murderer, so I shot him. That ain't gonna fly. So, just because this guy's called a suspect, you don't know what that means. See, you have your liberal brainwashed media theory that all these innocent people were suspects and then they were let loose. So you've been conditioned that suspects are all innocent. Well, I'm telling you, for me to put out a bolo on somebody, I know the guy's guilty. I know I'm arresting him. When I arrest somebody, I'm taking them into custody. I'm taking away their freedom. They're a suspect. Well, Rick, you can't do that. They're innocent until proven guilty. Well, that's because you're an idiot. You have to do something to get them into court. And if they're fleeing and they're a suspect of a violent felony, you can't let them get away. I mean, look, let's say I say, you know what, I make a YouTube video and I build me a nuclear dirty bomb here on YouTube. And YouTube won't censor it because, I didn't offend the liberal left. So, because let's say I built the nuclear weapon, I say I'm going for white people. YouTube would be okay with that. So then I build this nuclear weapon and I'm leaving and the cops see me walking down the street with a nuclear weapon. Who thinks because I'm only a suspect that they can shoot me? Raise your hand if you think the cops can shoot me. You would be right. If your hand's up, you're right. Now you people, I never raised my hand. Well, you were wrong. You should have raised your freaking hand. Because I'm telling you, if somebody's going to commit a disaster, if I say I'm going to go do a school shooting and the cops pull up and I'm walking in the school with a gun and they shoot and kill me. Well, Rick, you're only a suspect and you haven't shot anybody. They shouldn't do that. And the family should sue and cops shouldn't be shooting poor people in the back with a gun. Well, they shouldn't just be shooting people in the back with a gun, but totality of circumstances says they can. So when I put out a bolo, look, people know, look, I'm not putting out a bolo and PC to arrest unless I have good probable cause. Unless I can arrest this guy and make a case, I'm not going to put out a bolo. And when somebody gets an arrest warrant, guess what? They're still a suspect. And when I get an arrest warrant, you know how a cop gets an arrest warrant? It's not like on TV, put out a warrant for this guy. That's not how it works, people. If I think somebody committed a crime, I have to do what's called a probable cause statement. And I have to justify why I think this guy committed this crime and why I think a warrant should be arrested. And then once I write that probable cause statement and request a warrant, it goes to the DA. And the DA reads it and says, okay, I think this probable cause is enough that I can convict and put this in front of a jury. I'm okay with this guy. If you catch this guy, I'm going to prosecute and we're going to put this guy on trial. So we have all this evidence, but Rick, it's not evidence because he's a suspect. Well, that's because you're an idiot. So we have all this evidence connecting this guy to crime. He's still a suspect. The DA has reviewed it. Now I take that warrant to a judge and the judge reviews it. And the judge goes, okay, sounds good. Looks like you have probable cause to me. I'm going to sign a warrant. So now I have a felony arrest warrant for murder. Guess what? Guy's still a suspect. Well, Rick, he's just a suspect and you shouldn't shoot. You should just let him go. Well, that's because you're an idiot. And you'll be the first one crying when a suspect runs into your house, stabs you, takes one of your kids, rapes him, gets away, kills your whole family. And then when he goes to trial, he goes, yeah, I know I was guilty. I ran from the cops and I knew they had me. And I just wanted to take out some kids and a woman before they took me to jail. And everybody would be outraged. Why did the cops stop him when they could have? And of course, I have the people here who are going to be crying. You're flip-flopping. One day you're saying the cops shouldn't. Look, I'm not flip-flopping. I'm pretty freaking consistent. If the facts, to me, is reasonable, and I think I can get it past a DA and a judge and a jury, then I got no problem with it. This guy was a suspect. They had enough. It was the day before. They probably had eyewitnesses. The guy that put out the probable cause for arrest, they were doing a felony stop on the guys. So they obviously, and you can't get a warrant that quick, so maybe the guys just did a PC. Maybe they did have a warrant, because the news media isn't going to say that. But Rick, the news media is the truth, and the government wouldn't let them lie to us. Well, that's because you're an idiot. I keep trying to tell you idiots to stop listening to the BS and try to think for yourself. You don't have to agree with me, but at least freaking use your damn brain cells for something more than commenting idiot comments. All right, where was I? When was the kid found guilty? He was suspected of a crime. Did you get paid off, shill, for the police? His brother pled guilty does not excuse your vitriol. Ooh, nice word. What evidence do you have? Well, you don't know what evidence I have. Maybe I've got video footage of the guy doing it. You don't know that, but you're automatically taking the suspect's side. You know why? Because you haven't been a victim of a crime. You're probably some little freaking pink panty, pink haired crybaby out there running around thinking only cops should have guns and nobody else needs guns, and you're going to believe that until you become a victim. That's why. Huge thumbs down. Guess what? I'll thumb down you. You know what? If I'm so shit, let me just. Oh, hang on. It missed the little box here. Let me remove hide user from channel. Bye, Barry. Little freaking pansy. Well, in that freaking comment. All right. Telling me I got paid by the cops. Like I'm making shit up. Like I didn't justify and give you reasons on why I did it. You don't have to agree with my reasons, people. The key words I heard is unarmed and suspect. Ooh. See, he wasn't rude, or she wasn't rude. All right, that's cool. You're right. He was unarmed. That we know of. We don't know if they found a gun afterwards. Maybe the media didn't tell us. We don't know if they found a gun in the bushes as he ran around a corner. We don't know any of that. But you're automatically taking the bad guy. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Isaiah's position without knowing any of the facts. So you're going to accuse me of not having any experience and facts in this, and then you're going to make conclusions based on no facts and tell me I'm wrong. That's freaking brilliant. Okay, what level of suspicion makes someone a fleeing felon? The fact that he was wanted for questioning for murder does not mean, first of all, it didn't say wanted for questioning. It said he was wanted for murder. See, you're getting caught up in language that the media wants to get out there. You don't know if they had a warrant. You don't know if they requested a warrant. You don't know what the probable cause statement. The media, in their great duty to inform you, didn't give you what facts they had that made him a murder suspect. But Rick, if they didn't give it to us, they didn't have any. Well, that's because you're an idiot. All right, doesn't mean that someone saw him do it. Doesn't mean that someone did not see him. Doesn't mean they don't have video. See, you want to jump to the criminal side. I want to jump to, you have a guy who was at a crime scene that the cops listed as a suspect, which they don't do. We don't just make up. When somebody gets killed, they're like, gee, let's make up some suspects. Okay, I don't like Billy Bob. We'll say Billy Bob is a suspect of this murder. That's not how it happens, people. You have to have evidence. You have to have reasonable, probable cause. You have to be able to say this guy was there, either through witnesses, his car, video, the murder suspect. There was a conflict. He was living. We don't even know if this guy was living in the house that he killed. It could have been his best friend. It could have been an argument over a drug deal, and he paid, and the guy and the dealer's sister was in the room and saw the whole thing. We don't know any of that. Well, Rick, that's why they shouldn't shoot him. You can take that point. I'm telling you. The brother pled guilty. You can't use that to justify the shooting, but you damn sure ought to be able to do that to go, the guy was probably no good and guilty. And I'm not a fan of justifying cops doing bad shit after the fact. But Tennessee versus Garner, yep, that's the case. Was the government right in not to was the government right to not charge him, or were they, the hell? Hard to say what they're dude, who can make sense of that damn comment? Tarzan again. It was a really great idea to aim at the head of a fleeing felon 15 to 20 feet away from the fence of a preschool. I'm not saying it was illegal, but to me it seems highly risky. He's a hero because, well, and of course he's a hero. If the cop shot, missed, and killed a kid, the cop would be facing serious charges. Now, me personally, I don't think the cop aimed for his head. I think it was a lucky shot. Maybe the cop aimed for his head. Somebody's going to say, well, Rick, how can you say that? Well, I'm just saying. Most cops running around a fence, out of breath, shooting at a guy running through the fence, making a headshot is pretty tough at that distance when you're standing still and the target's standing still. But when the target's moving and you're shooting through a fence and you're jacked up and he's running, making a headshot, damn near close to the improbable area. So I'm thinking the guy was lucky. Now, there was a guy in the Air Force that made a headshot at 50 yards, and it was a good shot. But he was around the corner. He took up a stance. He used the building for support. It was a supported position. He was using a 9mm with, I forgot what the Beretta has, maybe 5-inch barrel, 4.5, 5-inch barrel. So it had a little bit longer barrel than most pistols, and he took a guy out with a headshot. So that was an aimed headshot because the suspect was standing still. He was standing still and supported. This shot, I think it might have been a lucky headshot, but I don't know the cops, so I don't know. I'm at least happy to see the medical student was white, Hispanic. Seems like favored Africans. Doesn't matter what color he was or what his race was. He was in a car with his brother who pled guilty, which we didn't know at the time. I get it. I know somebody's going to come here. You're just making it up. I'm not making it up, people. I'm telling you, I'm okay with the shooting. I'm sorry. Guy was running. Also, they said in the news report he was known to be armed. Nobody wants to bring up that fact. This 16-year-old was known to be armed. Now, for them to say that, what, do you think they went to his school records and he had a documentation that he spit a spitball at somebody in school, so they put him as armed? That means he's either been caught with a gun, he's been seen with a gun, he's been arrested with a gun, he had a gun at the scene. For them to say he was known to be armed means a lot. And again, the media didn't report anything that the cops knew. They didn't go into one single fact on what the cops knew. They used the trigger word for all the idiots. He was suspected of murder. Oh, and the poor mom's crying. And mom said he wasn't a threat and he was a good kid and he was on his way to doctor school and he was just climbing a fence because his library book was late and he didn't want a late fee. Whatever. I'm telling you, people, the media doesn't tell you what the cops know. And the cops don't tell the media what they know, which is another problem. I would have no problem with having to do full disclosure on what they knew when they shot. All right. He was a blind. All right. I messed up on the words there. Somebody had to point that out. Don't do the crime, can't do the time. Thumbs up on that. Gotta give you thumbs up. 16, 17-year-olds murder parents must be proud. Lazy cop shot fleeing suspect on a school ground. Glad he didn't miss and dump a mag in a preschool. Well, I'm with you. I'm glad he didn't miss either. But would he have been responsible if he missed? You know what? In this day and age, I don't think he would have. I think they would have said he's in fear of his life and tough luck for the preschoolers for being in school. So I'm thinking if he missed, he ain't got nothing to worry about anyway. Rick, that's because you're a jackboot lover cop. I'm not saying I agree with the people. I'm just telling you how it's going to turn out. Don't get mad at me for telling you the truth. You make no sense sometimes. You just prove mentality. You're guilty before proven guilty. The suspect never charged with murder. How do you know he wasn't charged? You don't know that. They could have done a PC deck and he could have been charged. You don't even know that, but you know everything. I know Mr. Wing Fing, Fine Fing, whatever your name is. And deadly force absolutely was not authorized. Being unarmed or run away, you're an idiot. Well, whatever. I think I might have did I reply to this idiot? I did. Okay, Dr. Oblivious. A warrant for a suspect is issued only on probable cause DA. Okay, that's pretty much what I already said. I don't think anyone's saying he shouldn't have been arrested, questioned, or tried. Well, of course you're saying that. You're saying you don't think he should have been. But if he broke into your house, raped you, stabbed you, killed your kids, you would have a different opinion. Liberals always become pro-gun people after they're a victim of a crime. You don't see liberals who are running around after they're a victim of crime saying, gee, I'm glad I didn't have a gun. You don't talk. I've never seen a video, never heard of a rape victim after they were raped when I interviewed them, or if they were interviewed, that said, damn, I'm so glad that I didn't have a gun. Never heard it. But Rick, well, shut up, you freaking crybabies. Rick's button the black is itching right now. It is. I really want to block this dude. But, I mean, he called me an idiot, but, I mean, he's got a couple of laugh out louds. I don't think he's taking it personal. We can just disagree on that. I'm not going to block that dude. I love your breakdown. You hit the nail. I'm going to block this dude just for kissing my ass. No, I'm not. I'm only kidding. Freaking crybaby. Rick, you can't be blocked. Shut up. In today's society, kids can't do no wrong. Back in my day, you got your ass. That's right, you did. You know what? If you ran from the cops, you were guilty. And there is case law that says running from the cops can be, shit, I just had it in my mind. Consciousness of guilt. When people do things that only a guilty person would normally do, It's reasonable for a cop to have inference or to use that information to develop or increase his probable cause of reasonable suspicion. If a guy gives furtive movements, like he's reaching for his belt for a gun, like he's reaching under his seat, like he throws a bag of dope out the car. Well, Rick, you don't know if it's dope. It could be Krispy Kreme icing. Yeah, I always throw my donuts out the window when the cops chase me. What? Be quiet. Freaking use your damn head. All right, what stops the parents and the kid's murder victim from suing this teens? What stops it is when you're a murder victim, you can't go after them. You can go after the murderer. You can't go after his parents. But for some reason, when you kill a kid, parents have the right to sue. It is a bad law. It's bullshit. We pay out millions of dollars. I agree the government only learns when they pay out money. But nowadays, they don't even learn. They don't even care. They take so much taxes. Their budgets are so big. They're so non-accountable. They don't care if they lose a lawsuit. Everybody could sue the government and the shorts would just go. I mean, there's been cases that have been found. The government was guilty, but we're going to rule not guilty because it would bankrupt the city. And people were like, well, we live in a free country. They work for us, Rick, and we have a constitution. Yeah, okay. You keep saying that shit while you're loading on the train. What if he was innocent? Well, what if a frog had freaking wings? He wouldn't bump his ass when he jumped. What if the government was really here? I think I might have made that comment. Let me see. Did I make a comment? Oh, yeah. What if a frog had wings? What if the government was trustworthy? What if only thinking people could have an opinion? What if the government was really here to help us? I mean, come on, what if? You can't be what ifing. Is it reasonable that this guy was in a car, he had a warrant, we had information he was involved, we had information he was armed, we knew he was a criminal? Another thing that the media kind of conveniently left out is they didn't give the juvenile's arrest record. They didn't say he was arrested 14 times, 3 times with a gun, 4 times for dope. He was an active gang member, and he was arrested for gang violence before. They didn't say that. Well, Rick, you can't say that. I can't say that. And if it's not true, then prove it. See, that's how you get people to prove a negative. I'm going to tell you this guy was a validated gang member who had committed murder before and got off because he was a juvenile, and they couldn't prove it, and they knew he was a murderer, and they got videotape of him at the scene. And that's why they shot him. And you know what? There's still people out there that wouldn't change their opinion. Even if everything I said was true, they wouldn't change. He's still a suspect, and it's not fair, and I'm crying liberal tears because the suspect was returning a library book. He was a suspect or convicted of murder. He was a suspect or convicted of murder. Well, look, his internship was canceled. Yep, was. Cops shoot a suspect. Since when is that allowed? Since whenever. Every shooting is a suspect. The only time a crook is shot when he's not a suspect is if he's convicted, the jury finds him guilty, and then he tries to pull a gun on a cop in the courtroom, and then they shoot him. Then that, and I don't know how many cases that happens, but it's not a lot. That's the only time you can shoot somebody that's convicted. You know, if somebody escapes from prison, they're still a suspect till you get them back in prison. And you got idiots that, well, Rick, you can't shoot him. It's not fair. Well, that's because you're an idiot. All right, my reaction to this is when he hit him in the back of the head. Nice shot. Again, I'm not sure it was a nice shot. I think it was lucky, but it could have been a nice shot. I still believe the perp, unarmed, can be arrested without deadly force. Well, you can believe that, but from a cop's perspective of seeing how many times that ends up getting innocent people killed is BS. That's like chasing somebody. Let's say a guy commits a school shooting and he shot up a bunch of kids and he gets in a car and he's driving away. And the cops can shoot him, but they don't. They just chase him. And while they're chasing him, there's 14 accidents and 14 other children are killed. And the guy ends up ramming a school bus and killing all the children. The cops could have shot him as soon as he got in the car and started running, and they didn't because of all the crying liberals here that think he needs a fair trial and that they shouldn't shoot him because he's running away. That's the fallout that people never see. And until you've been on a crash site and seen innocent kids and people killed and bleeding and dying in wheelchairs for the rest of their life, don't tell me about what a great idea it is to let bad people just run. So, okay, we'll end it there. Now, I think cops freaking chase. We'll end that comment. I'm still going on here. There's a lot of comments here that, and again, I'm hopefully trying to educate you to think of totality. Is Rick trolling us? Oh, Dead Prepper. See, I already blocked him because he told me if the guy was white. Is Rick trolling us? The kid was merely a suspect. He makes a sound like the kid was already guilty. He was on the grounds of preschool. Let's discharge bullets toward the school because that makes a lot of sense. Are you freaking kidding me? He looks bad because it is bad. Well, now see, this was a reasonable comment. I don't have a problem with this one. And another comment, he replied, if the guy was white, Rick's position would be different. So, sorry, Dead Prepper. This is your last comment. Everybody make a monument to this because he ain't posting here unless he makes a new account. All right, let's see. Isaiah dropped out of school. Instead, he got Trek custody. Yeah, well, he didn't look like he climbed a fence, or was that fat? Damn, Rick, I really love your breakdowns. You know someone killed someone. He will murder suspect or convict. He may have murdered someone. He may have also not. You're right. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Epstein didn't kill himself. Maybe OJ was really innocent. Maybe the government is here to help us. Okay. A lot of maybes here. Good shot, Sarge. You can't sue, but this is a case that usually is the most difficult obstacle to overcome is the fact that the person who committed the crime has little or no assets. I would sue and take what little he had. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Really not surprised. Suspect innocent until proven guilty. Comments. Shake my head. Innocent until proven guilty. Here we go again. Because the media uses the term suspect, that makes everybody innocent. Media reporting, breaking news, school shooting, suspect. We have him on video. The helicopter's following him. Look at him. He's just shooting kids and he's running away. And people are crying. Don't shoot him. He's just a suspect. Freaking idiots. Are you kidding me? Murder suspect. He has been proven guilty. No shit. What if he didn't do it? Would it still be justified? Here's where I'm going to really piss some people off. Yes! Rick, how can you say that? Look, it doesn't matter. The law states that I can break into your house and arrest you for a felony. And it specifically states that even if a felony has not been committed, I'm still covered under immunity if I have reasonable belief that the felony was committed. Rick, you're making that up. That can't be the law. That's crazy. Well, I'm telling you, it is the law. When it comes to felonies, it does not have to be proven that a felony actually occurred. It only has to be proven that the cop had reasonable belief that a felony occurred. If a woman comes out and is beat up and she says, I was raped and I chased the guy down and take him into custody, I am protected if he says, I didn't rape her. I was over here. That's her boyfriend that raped her. I'm still covered. It doesn't matter. But Rick, you can say cops can kill people and they don't even have to be guilty? Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can get mad at me, people. I'm just telling you what the law states. Now, obviously, if you kill somebody, then it turns out to be true. They're going to seriously look at whether or not you had reasonable belief, and they're going to question that. But, I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, cops have access to a lot of information, and we have other cops and witnesses and videotape and 911 calls, and we have all this knowledge when we make decisions out there, and we have experience of what we've done before when we make decisions, and we have DAs and judges reviewing and looking over us when we do warrants and arrest warrants and search warrants. So when a cop says I believe something, he's covered. But Rick, what if he's innocent? What if he is? What if a frog had wings? I mean, I'm sorry, people. You may not like the truth, and you can run around and go to channels with comforting lies to where they go, oh, you know what, Frank? That's such a good point, and he could have, and Frank, that's really insightful and very tolerant and accepting, outlook you have. I really appreciate your opinion, but the law says it doesn't fucking matter. Rick, you kids! Frank was trying to be... Shut up! Freaking crybabies, come here and make comments, don't know what the hell you're talking about. But he was only 16. Victim. Institutionalized rape. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, I know this guy was being funny, I think. I love it when you say everyone else is thinking. Well, that's because I know where they're going to come up. It's not that I know what they're thinking. I just know how people try to justify it. Moving target, headshot. The officer was shooting good for that day. If he was aiming there, I don't know if he's going to say he's aimed. Oh, another thing that kept coming up. Maybe I'll get to it, but now that I'm thinking about it. Why didn't he shoot him in the leg? And I go back to the pinky toe takedown. Look, you don't shoot people in the pinky toe because the likelihood of you hitting it is slim to none and slim left town. So you don't aim for the pinky toe, and you don't aim for something long and narrow like a leg, because it's hard enough to hit a body if you aim for center mass, much less if you're aiming for legs, knees, toes, fingers, or earlobes. So shooting somebody in the earlobe to get their attention may sound good and it may look good on TV, but it's not practical and it's not what cops are taught. Cops are taught shoot for center mass. Why? Because the largest center mass available, you're most likely to hit your target. And the goal is to hit your target and not miss your target. And if people were shooting for pinky toes and it ricochets and hits the kids, they'd be like, why did they shoot for the pinky toe? The kid's dead and now because they went for the pinky toe. That's why you don't shoot for the freaking leg, people. But we'll get to that. The whole problem, little thing called innocent. No, that's not the problem. The problem is people like Charlie that don't understand the law and they think they do, and they are living the lie, and they listen to the media and they hear things like suspect, and they think that that person is innocent just because they're a suspect. There are plenty of guilty suspects, okay? He's a fleeing murderer. Good thing he's off the streets. Now, the other side of this is, well, he wasn't a murderer because he wasn't convicted, but I'm assuming to put him as a suspect and to shoot him in the back and not to be outraged and not to have a good civil suit. You notice the civil suit didn't say, the officer shot him with limited or no knowledge that he even committed it. He was innocent. Notice the media didn't say he was innocent. Notice they didn't say that the police department had no evidence to connect him to this crime. The police department had no reasonable belief or suspicion that he was the murderer. Notice the media did not say that. Well, Rick, why should we think that? Because they didn't say it. That's because you're an idiot. I'm trying to get you to think of what they're not saying and not just what they're saying. Jesus Christ. All right, cops are judge and jury. I agree that cops are shooting people too much. I agree that we need to get a hold of deadly force. This isn't the case. Why is the cop video crap? I don't know. It was crap. He had two backups. Should have let the other cop chase down. Should have, would have, could have. Should have let the other cop chase him down. The cop jumps over the fence. He sprains an ankle, and then he doesn't chase him. Then the kid gets into school and grabs your kid and has a gun to his head and traumatizes your kid, breaks his neck, shoots him. Or some other cop comes up there, tries to take a headshot, misses, and shoots the kid, and he's found guilty, and now you're crying that your kid's shot by the cops when the cops shouldn't have shot him, and they should have let him go, and they shouldn't have jumped over the fence, and, you know, the cow jumped over the moon, and whatever. Freaking moon pie, living in moon pie land. All right, so if the cop does not have to pay for his own personal money, does the department pay out? Yes, the department pays out. Not the department, the taxpayers. The taxes that you pay is what they give to these people. So all you idiots who always want to pay out on useless things, you want to raise your taxes. You're right. Headshot perfect. Shot him in the back of the head. Marksman. Where did all smart people go? What? Smart people in media? That's a freaking oxymoron. Like jumbo shrimp. All right. Young doctor who couldn't get his pants to fit. All right. Hoorah, one shot. Must have been a Marine. I met some Marines that couldn't shoot. I've been in competitions against Marines, and I hate to blow my own horn, but I outshot a lot of Marines in my life. Sorry. Now, there's some Marines that have outshot me, but I've outshot a few. So just because you're a Marine doesn't mean you can shoot. Marines are people. I'm going to piss off Mr. Barron here because he's a good viewer. But anyway, I'm just cracking on you because you said it must have been a Marine. For some reason, Marines are like, man, they're total brainwash about Marines. They're all great, good, excellent shot. They're all good and everything. And I'm just like, look, I've dealt with some pretty crap Marines. But same way with the Air Force, Army, Navy. There's crapping everywhere. That's what I try to tell people. Firemen, policemen. When I crack on these people, everybody that's in it are like, oh my God, you can't talk about firemen. They don't even eat donuts. I'm a bit confused. I thought he was shot on top of the fence and fell down. It showed him running. I didn't get it. Okay, Blake. Well, hang around. You might pick it up later. The cop must have been Chris England, meth, Camlins. Cop was murdered that got away. Private police. Privatized police may not be a bad idea. Unfortunately, then you get police that work for the community, and if you get some tyrant in charge of that community, you get the same thing as you do from the government. So I'm not sure when power is involved, I'm not sure there's a correct answer. Did they confirm the kid was murdered before he was shot? Oh, here we go. Man, damn, Explorer, that was such a brilliant comment. That's so thought-provoking, and it sounds so wonderful. Did they confirm the kid has a murderer before he was shot? Man, that's just a brilliant comment. No, they didn't, you freaking dummy. Maybe they didn't have to. Maybe they confirmed it before they made him a suspect. Did you ever think of that? No, Rick, because he's a suspect, he must be innocent. The liberal bullshit. This guy's got a mad face because I keep saying liberal. Look, I'm sorry, JB. If you're a liberal, you need to move away from the dark side. Nobody who can rationally think is a liberal. You just couldn't be a liberal. It's an absolute destruction. It's watering the tree that you're tied to that's going to hang you as it grows. As liberalism grows, it destroys everything, and it'll destroy you. And if you don't like the liberal bullshit, then go to a channel to where they freaking pull out unicorns and rainbows and tell you how wonderful it'll be if the government had all the guns and they had all the power and they had all the money. And then you can go to work and give all your money to government and let them provide for you like the post office and DMV and someplace else. Okay, JB? So if you don't like the liberal bullshit, then go to your liberal channel and get... Let me give this guy freaking my little crybaby comment. Here's your little freaking drink out of your little filthy mint bottle. Rainbow crying cry. Damn it, Rick. I'm so glad I stayed out your big kitty. I'm on that big kitty. What? I don't get that one. Cop put a gun arm's reach. He was a threat 30 feet away. He was not a threat. Not shot when he was 3 feet away. Also, the shooting happened on Saturday of the preschool. Presumably, it was closed. Oh, so now it's okay to presume that there's no kids at the preschool and that they were closed. Now, I'll admit, if there were no kids, then you could probably take that out of the thought process. A lot of times when I give you things that I see, it may or may not have been any cop's thought process. I'm not saying this cop was me. I'm not sure I would have taken that shot. I said it was justified. I didn't say that the cop was 100% right. He's a great guy. He knows the law. He quoted the law. He followed the law, and he had all his facts. I'm not saying that at all, people. I'm telling you, from the circumstances, 3 agencies investigated it, said it was justified. Of course, government's going to protect government. I'm not sure that's true. But 3 agencies did it, and the media did not say, they were not challenging the fact that the guy was innocent. They were challenging that he didn't show a gun when he was running when he was shot, because that's the only card they have to play. And unfortunately, in a civil trial, they're going to get all the evidence on what they had. And nobody else will know that or want to repeat that. And the media won't be doing a thing saying, oh my God, at the civil trial, when we did this first report, we said he was innocent, he was a suspect. But at the civil trial, it came out that they had video footage of him actually shooting the guy and shooting several people and shooting people when he left. Here's the video footage that wasn't released. No, the media will not come back and say that. All you people who were saying he was a suspect and he was innocent, you keep watching the media and maybe they'll play that tape for you. When freaking hell freezes over. Headshot, perfect. He was detained at gunpoint by anyone. I start running, I expect to be shot. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, in this day and age, if the cops have their guns out, you need to assume they're going to shoot. So if you're going to run, you need to decide to either shoot back, fight, take the gun from the cop, or take a chance of getting shot. Because if the cops have their guns out nowadays, the odds of them shooting is pretty damn high. A lot better odds than you're ever going to get at any Vegas bet. Hell, the cops didn't know he was reaching for a gun. Looked like he was pulling up his pants. Could have been reaching for a weapon. Could have been. Could have been pulling up his pants. Could have been scratching his butt because he had Chinese food. I don't know why he was doing it. But when the hand goes to the waistband where guns are probably kept and reasonably kept, and that's where most crooks produce guns when they reach to the waistband, it's reasonable that he could have been reaching for a gun, and that's how they're going to justify it. I'm not saying the law is right, people. 16-year-old in this case was involved in the homicide with his brother. The brother was later arrested, pled guilty. And who thinks the brother pled guilty because he was innocent? He was with his brother when they were stopped, and he was with his brother at the shooting. And there'll be people out there, well, Rick, just because he was with his brother doesn't mean that he deserves a trial and he's just a suspect. You're just so... Shut, you freaking crybabies. I don't even know why the hell you watch these videos if you got that mindset. I mean, I would expect you to watch these videos to learn a little bit about the law and to learn how the government uses the law against you, and then motivate you to either change the law, get involved, stop voting for liberal ignorance, because that's what usually makes the laws that creates the most problems. But instead, you come here and hate on me because I talk about liberals. I missed your voice. Me too, I'm missing it. Shit, I'm at 39 minutes. Holy shit, this is a marathon video. The teenager murder suspect, most people have already left, so. Thug life, die a thug life. Okay, he was a good boy. I see anybody pissing on a dead body. Dumbass kid is just fine. Matter of fact, better known, move along. There's nothing to see here. Alrighty, Travis. The reason I don't like this case is because the guy being a fleeing wanted suspect is not why 3 agencies cleared the shooting. The reason the officer was cleared is because he said he thought he reached for their waistband, fear for his life. Thus, the outcome only reinforces the notion that cops cannot see your hands. They figure fear shot. It reinforces to. Okay, this comment has some truth, and the best way to promote a lie is to put some truth in it. And I'm not saying he's trying to promote a lie. I'm just saying he's got some points here, but he's making some assumptions. The reason this officer was cleared is because that's not what he was cleared. They didn't say that's why. Did I miss that point? Did they say the media may have said that's what the officer said, and then 3 agencies cleared him? But I did not hear the media say the 3 agency cleared him is because the officer said he's in fear of his life. That's not, and even if they did say that, they didn't say that was the only fact that they cleared him. The fact that the guy was guilty and his brother pleaded guilty, and that they had evidence and enough reasonable suspicion that he was the guy, that's what cleared this guy. They're going to talk to this officer and say, what did he know when he shot? And you notice the media did not say that. The media did not say, we interviewed the officer, and here's what he told us of the information he knew when he shot. He knew that they had video footage. He knew that we had a briefing before. He knew that we were doing a search warrant. He knew that we were looking for him. He knew that the judge had signed the arrest warrant and the DA had reviewed it. We were 99% sure that we could get a conviction on this guy, and they were going to arrest him, and we were planning a search warrant to hit his house later that day when the officer spotted him driving. Now, if the officer said all of that, would you people who said he's just a suspect still be crying? Well, Rick, the officer still didn't convict him. Okay, well then there's no arguing with you. You just believe that if somebody's a suspect, they should never be shot. So hopefully if somebody shoots all your family and they're running away and the cops go, oh, you're that guy that he's just suspect? Okay, we'll let him get away. Maybe we'll catch him, maybe we won't. Have a nice life. Freaking crazy. In the cowboy days, most cowardly acts shoot someone in the back. Well, I agree. Shooting someone in the back because you're mad or a personal beef is one thing. But shooting bank robbers that ran and robbed banks in the back was no big deal. They would shoot at bank robbers running away with the money all the time. But nobody wants to remember that, if you stole a horse, you get hung. There was none of this liberal BS. Rick, why are you packing on liberals? Because they're the ones that want to start this friendly tolerance acceptance crap that ruins everything. There was none of this liberal, we need to wait a year for the trial. We need to interview 400 jurors to find out who doesn't know anything about the case. Back then, everybody knew about the case. Everybody was witnesses to the case. The jury was from the town and the relation. The jury got to decide, if you did a crime in our community, we're going to hang you. So you just better not commit crimes. And crooks knew this, and they stayed away from those communities. Why? Because they knew they would get. Why do crooks go to California? Why do California have such a high crime rate? Why do liberal cities have the most crime and the most gun violence? Because they know they have liberals up there crying liberal tears, flying their rainbow flags about tolerance and acceptance, and everybody's a victim and it's not their fault. And they know they're not going to get hung, and they're not going to get the death penalty, and they're not going to get any serious repercussions to their crime. That's why they go to liberal cities. Rick, you can't say that because all liberal cities are beautiful. Okay, yep, you're an idiot. All right, let's see. 100% agree. Internship canceled about 45. I don't know what the cop was shooting. If it was a 45, that's probably why it dropped. Mom, you bring up 2 criminals, face it, bam, bam. I agree. But, you can't say that. The media is not ever going to say that. Mom, where were you when they were committing crimes? Where were you when they were in juvenile court? Where were you when they were in juvenile hall for 6 months and you never visited them and never went to trial? Where were you then? Mom's around now because she wants the mo-mo. Come on, people. All right, wait. You said he was a murder suspect. Then you said he murdered someone. So, is he a suspect or did he murder? Oh, Brian. Man, that's a brilliant comment, Brian. You're right with the other people that know all the information. Involuntary medical dropout. I didn't get rid of you till I saw the very end. It's justified. I'm not sure what the fact that the dude's gone. I'm not sure at the end what really changed his mind, but okay. Let's see. There's no way that he was reaching for his waistband. No way the cops seen that. However, I feel bad. I don't feel bad that the murderer got shot. And I'm conflicting on. I like to hold government accountable. I don't like when government gets to abuse somebody and go, he was a murderer anyway. I don't think they ought to abuse their authority. I'm not sure. I'm absolutely sure in the scope of the law, this was not abuse of authority. This was absolutely justified, lawful, and complied with all laws. But would I have shot? I don't. I'm thinking I probably wouldn't have. I mean, I've chased a lot of fleeing felons, and if I had to shoot somebody, if I was put in a position to shoot somebody, it's going to be a last resort. It's not going to be something that I strive for like the cops nowadays that want to get their little "I shot somebody" pin so they can notch it on their belt or whatever. What the fuck are the ribbons for now? What? I don't know what ribbons. What are we talking about? Did I say something about ribbons in here? If he died, it's a good shoot, or it was a good what? All right. Did not file a lawsuit. His little punk parents matched $1 for $1 for killing. I agree. I think the parents should be. If you sue, then you have to be liable for all the court costs and all the stuff that your son committed. I'm okay with having a trial after someone's dead. But Rick, you have a right to face your accusers. Well, you know what? If you're going to cry that he's just a suspect, then change the law to where when someone dies, we got to have a trial, or we got to have some sort of hearing, or we got to have something in front of a judge where he reviews the evidence. I mean, there's ways that you can fix things other than crying. He needed the exercise. That was exercise. Practice, practice, practice. Little bottle of Valium. What? Should give him. Okay. Obama? Is that supposed to be Obama? Would say that could have been. Oh, it's Obama. Okay, he just misspelled it. Lance, spell check. Maybe he didn't want to put Obama because YouTube's blocking Obama when you say that. A shot. Excellent point. 120. What happened at 120? People, murder victims ought to be able to sue parents. If parents... Oh, that's what happened. Shit, how do I get back to that? All right. Damn, where am I at? Oh, shit. Well, let me go back. Hang on. Sorry, people. Woo. Guess I won't click 120 again. Okay, anyway. Hopefully you have a better understanding of the law, people. Sorry to bring up ass, but a lawyer friend, Mark Vick, said it was unjustified. Oh, shit. Really? Freaking you idiots are still watching that ass. Look, this guy ass is getting... and I don't care if this guy's a lawyer. If he said it's unjustified, that just proves my point that Apps is a Trump-hating little left-wing liberal. He's the one that runs around and tries to, succumb to YouTube, promotes all the left-wing liberal bullshit, and you idiots that watch him are getting legal advice from him when he's promoting the liberal agenda. This guy is so freaking popular. I haven't been to his channel in a while, but last time I was there, I thought he had close to 1 million. I don't know how many he's got. Now, a couple people have told me he's got some lawyer there that gives the legal stuff. Look, people, just because a guy's a lawyer doesn't mean he understands criminal law, doesn't mean he's ever been in a courtroom. I know a lot of lawyers that in a criminal room, I know 10 times more of the law than they do. Hell, I know criminal laws, criminal DAs that I know more than they do because they're new and they just haven't had the experience. And I've told DAs laws that they didn't know that would help the case. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy and I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you, if you don't have experience in a courtroom and you don't have experience like Asp, his only experience is being a preacher of a failed church that he had to quit and he had to figure out another way to dupe people into giving him money. If that's the only thing that you want to follow this guy for, that's up to you. I just stopped. I mean, I just stopped watching his video. I'm surprised it's even. I've got apps marked to where it doesn't even show up because I get tired of his videos. So Mark said it was unjustified. The boy was shot on Saturday and the preschool was closed. That doesn't change shit. That he's still a fleeing felon, unless you're saying the only way the shooting was good is if there was kids in the school, and that's not good either. That's one fact. Remember, you can't justify or not justify facts. The courts have ruled that you can't singular facts out. It has to be the totality of facts and circumstances that the officer knew at the time. Did the officer know it was closed? Did he see a child? Did he see a teacher? Did he see somebody cutting the grass and not know it was closed? You can't jump to these conclusions. This is more bad information from Ash and his new fucking lawyer buddy, whoever he is. I haven't seen him. I don't know. He may be a great guy. But if he's following Ash around, I'm thinking he's not too freaking smart. Okay, the cop, you should say shoot minors. You can shoot people in the back. You said you can shoot minors. You can shoot people in the back. I don't know his older brother murdered someone later. I think the dead kid assisted his bro. Interesting that Mr. Victor and Ash didn't tell us this important fact. Oh, so they're actually hiding facts to push their liberal left agenda. Gee, that's what I've been saying about Ash forever. And people keep going to his channel. Oh man, you can go to Ask and take the dead challenge room. What is it? Dead room challenge? Room temp something. He says something that people quote sometimes. Let's see. Just effing with you. I thumbed you up GLA. What the hell's GLA? Oh shit. Everybody's gonna know what that is but me. What the hell is wrong with your ears? Are you square? Unemployment Thursday. I don't wait. Prep got away, killed more people, and their families would try to sue the police. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay. Good riddance, goodbye. I agreed. So Tally, serve that. Thanks, Rip. That's all you had to say. Keep up the good work. Okay. Common sense, superpower, no shit. Either you're bald. Either you're bald or you're bald. Make up your mind. What? Graham factors. Threat, level of resistance, crime severity. Are you talking about the case, Graham? Versus, was it Tennessee? Graham versus Connor, maybe? I don't remember. Graham, there's a case law that he may be referring to, but Big Tex, your theory is assuming that people that read this are going to know everything you know. So that makes that not a good comment. Rick, you can't crack on Big Tex. That's Big Tex. Shut up, you freaking crybabies. Keyword suspect. That's not the keyword. The keyword suspect is what the media likes to use for idiots to make you think that they're innocent. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, I'm doing pretty good. I was on the jury. The parents would get a major payday. Well, and you know what? The defense would love you to have a jury. They love people that get emotional and already make up their mind. Remember the kids OJ lost his wrongful. Remember kids OJ lost his wrongful death civil case. Remember kids OJ. What the Yo, Rooster, what are you doing? Out chasing chickens and not paying attention to what the... How can I decipher this freaking comment? He didn't know at the time he was guilty. You're right. That's shocker. Everybody I arrest, I don't know whether he's guilty. Every arrest warrant I get, every search warrant, every time I kick doors in and go arrest felons, I don't know if they're guilty yet. What's your point? You have to love how people weren't there suddenly. No, exactly. He was only a suspect. Oh, that's so brilliant. I love that comment. Walk it off. He was holding his pants up. Think of a belt. I always promoted I like the loose pants because it always slowed him down and it made me faster. Rarely could I have caught a dude if he had a belt on and he wasn't trying to hold up his pants while he was running because that really slows him down. And usually you're chasing young, in-shape kids. So not having a belt is really a good thing. Cops need to promote that image. Man, I just don't think this was a good shoot. The kid was not proven guilty. We give cops too much. Okay, I agree with this. This guy makes a good rational point, but he's not being rude. He's not saying I'm wrong. He's not saying the media's right. He's just stating his opinion that he's got a little problem with it. These are the comments that I have absolutely no problem. Oh, why not liking these comments? What happened? I guess I forgot to start liking. Usually I like so I know when I reviewed them. Bonnie and Clyde to serve the ambush gunned down by Texas Rangers. That was a great ambush scene. And I kind of like Bonnie and Clyde. So, you know, they didn't hurt anybody. And they never shot anybody in their robbery. So I was okay with them. But, you know, some people got a problem when people steal from the government. I got no problem with people steal from the government. Government needs to be stolen from. They're stealing from us every damn day. Rick, you can't say that. The government's here to protect us. Okay. Let's see. Nice shot. I lost it. It was a good shot if he was aiming for the head. Reach for the range. Questionable chicken shit shoot. Okay. Maybe. I'm okay with that. Rick, you're wrong. I hate when people come here. They should have done the pinky. Okay. So see, sometimes people like to say that just to get my goat. And then I read it and I can tell they're joking. Should have done the pinky toe takedown. Okay. I got it. William. Stop and frisk is unconstitutional. American people deserve any kind of violence America, King George. So what the fuck? Dude, Knights, jump up my... Freaking make a comment that's reason. Violent, fleeting felon. All right, I know I screwed it up. Whatever. Great headshot. Holy shit, headshot. Rick, as a 120 California politician passed state law changing the use of force versus from reasonable to necessary. And I did a video on that, which changes absolutely zero, nada, not a damn thing, bullshit, liberal trying to convince idiots that they care about you. I can shoot somebody whether it's reasonable or necessary, it doesn't matter. Tell me, since this law has passed, that all the people are quoting, how many times California has charged a cop for using force not necessary. Let me help you out. None. Zero. Nada. You freaking idiots think liberals care about you and they pass laws and you're like, oh, and I'm not saying this guy's a liberal, he agrees with the law, but shall not show to flee regardless of the threat they pose to the public. It's unbelievable. They're not going to charge a cop when they shoot somebody. The cops are going to go, by federal law, I was authorized to shoot. State law can't jump federal law. The Fed says I can shoot reasonable, or I can shoot fleeing felons. So I don't give a shit what California feel-good words they put out there. They can say you can only shoot if the unicorns say it's okay, and it doesn't freaking matter. No cop has been charged with violating California law yet. So it's nothing but words and bullshit for the idiots. Suspect, which means innocent, that's not what it means. You have been brainwashed to think that's what it means. Court of law, fool. You know what? How about this, Mr. Fool? Let's freaking bye-bye, Mr. Fool. No more comments from you. How about that? How's that for fool? Rick, you can't block somebody like that. Well, I just did. All right. He was a convict. Probably was. He probably on parole probation. The media left that out. Probably has an arrest record 4 pages long. I get certain the situation could have become worse. All right, look, I think... There's John. What'd John say on this? What did the mother say about her son? Guess she thinks he should have run as well as got killed. Then she could sue for that, too. All internal, right. What? The cop should have jumped 360 quick. What? You already convicted with teen. Oh, whatever. You're not convicted just because you're a teen. By downvoting that. Usually I just upvote every comment. Isa just graduated brain surgery bullet. That's just wrong. Rick, you can't laugh at the comments. I laugh at the comments all the time. I love great comments. Being a suspect is far from conviction. So did they have the right person? No. You know what, RJ? It's amazing you said that. It came out later. It was the wrong person. It wasn't even his brother that pled guilty. It was the wrong person. Good catch. Whatever. All right. I'm going to finish reviewing these. We're almost at an hour. I probably lost most of you guys. Reviewing the comments is really educational. And if you question a lot of these comments, you can kind of get the gist of the people who are thinking and the people who aren't thinking. Good video. Okay. You don't have to like my video. I like when you click the like because YouTube likes it. I like when you subscribe because YouTube likes it. Only because it makes it harder for them to freaking harass me and maybe take me off their ban list so they don't promote my videos. But the brother was an idiot. Why would you confess if the brother guaranteed... What? The reason why the brother confessed to the crime is they had such overwhelming evidence that they were going to convict him and he was probably facing the death penalty or life without parole. And they probably guaranteed him 20 years to life, which means he would be eligible for parole if he pled guilty. And since he knew he was going to be held guilty, he pled guilty. People do not plead guilty to murder and life in prison unless, altogether, they're guilty. Cop only shot him because too many donuts. All right. I don't know how many more comments I got. It's quite a few. I'll try to scan through. I know some people like to see their comments. I know I'm in an hour. I'm trying to guilty till proven innocent. Many details missing. Yeah, they're missing because the media didn't tell you. They're not necessarily missing from the case. They're missing because the media only told you what they wanted you to hear and believe. Okay, so that's the last comment right here. So this guy first. Good morning, Rick. So this guy got first comment. Let's go ahead and give him a little, get his donuts. And his glass of milk. Alrighty. Hey. And reply. Okay. I guess that was first comment. Alright, that's the video. 50 minutes. Wow, I'm almost on the nose. A whole hour. We'll end that there.